Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. It is 11 o'clock. Second video of the week on Thursday. Quite a bit of ground to cover here, so let's just jump right into it. First and foremost, backdrop, oil continues to go up because of the ongoing conflict. We're going to start here. I think that's the most important part to start, as oil is really cooking. Today has had its probably largest move since this, capitulation of selling. I have once again shorted oil. Right before I made this video, I've added to my short. Looking at volume, which is really the only indicator I use for this with oil whatsoever, because I don't really care beyond that. You saw, except for price, you saw back here when the escalation happened in March, you see the peaking volume. So that was a true indication that oil was going up again. And so I did not trade it at all until the top side, and now I am going to continue pushing this into the short side. For the record, I'm definitely down on my oil short. I don't really care. I mentioned this last video. It's irrelevant to me because it's going to return back to this area. It's inevitable. And again, I'm pretty firm on my belief that this is a lot of posturing and that eventually we should see oil back down into the 60s, 65. So still short oil. Oil is up. The Strait of Hormuz is continue the talk of the town. I mean, it is what it is. That's going to happen. Bitcoin, going to touch on this real quick because we had it off the low. All of a sudden, Bitcoin was down yesterday. One day, everybody's losing it. Still hovering around that 64, 65 range. I am very long Bitcoin. Guys, if you cannot take a day or two down, I don't know what to tell you. That's why we bought long dated calls. They're out till next year in March. You don't have the same time decay. So yeah, looks good. I'm long Bitcoin. That's that. Gold, I think, gets smashed again today. Yeah, gold getting smashed. It was trying to break out of the wedge. It did not do so yesterday. I wanted to see it through a follow through. It did not do it. Gold looks pretty crappy. And even during the conflict, gold has not done anything, which is telling, because usually that's a flight to safety for most people, is precious metals and gold during times of conflict, and we haven't had that. The 10-year Treasury bond up again today. I mean, this is crazy to me as we approach close to 5%, which means mortgage rates will get very, very high. If that does in fact come to fruition, it very well might. I'm going to touch now on the Nasdaq and then the Russell. So today's bad, down 2%. Definitely not ideal. I'm still on yellow. I told you I will be on yellow in the event that we have a lower low here. I will definitely be on red, and I will exit a lot. Not that I'm in that much to begin with now. I'm only just riding my horses that I have that I'll go into. But below this, a low here will definitely mean a serious exit. I do think this is starting into becoming a bull trap, and so I'm okay with this. Obviously, you don't want to see a lower low, so also beyond Friday's low, which I think is Friday, Tuesday. This is Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Friday. You definitely don't want to see a lower low here. Lower lows are one of the worst things you want to see technically, so I think as long as you don't see a lower low, you're fine. I expected a little bit of give back, and overall, it's a mixed bag today. The whole market is not down. I am going to point out the Russell, which is the small cap, because the Russell had been doing great. Today is down. The Russell had been faring much, much, much better than the S&P and the Nasdaq. This is more of the risk-on index, small cap growth and whatnot. Giving back a little bit today, but still really looks constructive, and that should correlate to your growth names. Whoa. So that's that. Okay, we've got the backdrop, we've got the big board, and you see Micron's green on a day of red. So let's go into it. Let's first start off with SpaceX, because yesterday, or was it not yesterday, the day before SpaceX went up, this was the day it went up 6%, and everybody's like, Jack, your short's not going to work. I started shorting last week, for the record, when I made it on the video. This is just a complete downward spiral. They have earnings coming up in the beginning of August. I don't know if people are aware yet, but SpaceX is not a profitable company. I'm not sure if people understand that. So when I say it's going under $100, it's going under $100. SpaceX is not a profitable company. There's a lockout period. Insiders are going to start selling by the boatload. And I really don't know how to, I'm not saying that SpaceX at one point might not be a $200 stock, but it's got a lot of what's called IPO discovery phase to go through, its due diligence phase, and we're going to see under $100. So I'm short from like 100, and it was somewhere in here. 135, 140. So I'm probably in the green already 20% or close to it. So I don't know. I'm short SpaceX. That day that it popped up, I actually shorted more. You're going to get days that it pops up, some short covering. It's really a nothing burger. SpaceX going under $100. All right, moving along a little backwards here. Tesla is a stock I own and a stock I'm getting hit on. I should have known better. I really should have known better. This was one that I just let go by the wayside. I didn't hedge. And normally, I would have either sold covered calls or buy some puts in the event because I own a position in this. The position is not massive, so it wasn't like a huge hit to me. Can't win them all. Their revenue was really good. They just missed on a bunch of other stuff, and they're really banking on CapEx expenditures and more investment into the company and their robo-taxi. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to buy more shares probably today. I normally would never do this. I think this is overblown and overdone, and I've seen Tesla do this on so many earnings. I might buy shares and it might go down again for another couple days. I'm okay with that. I'm holding this. I'm only telling you what I'm going to do. I think this is overblown. I really do. I think Tesla is a $500 stock. It's been that. It'll be that. It was at $500 at the end of last year. It's been higher than that. I'm not going to go back through the historical path. I'm only telling you what I'm going to do. This is not financial advice, but rather for educational purposes. I'm going to add some shares here probably today in the event of more of an investment style. This is not for me trading this. This is not on a swing, a momentum, just an investment. I think this is undervalued. All right, keeping it moving. Let's jump to everybody's favorite to talk about. Let's go memory. As memory is what I'm banking on and I'm betting on. Okay. So let's start off with Micron. I mentioned that I thought the low was in on this, and you had some capitulation with SH Hynix, which, all right, let's just start with that, actually. All right, so everybody doesn't know, this is an IPO that came out. Institutions, large hedge funds went balls to the wall on this. They were over leveraged all over the world, not just in America. The IPO came in, tanked, they got liquidated. It forced a lot of people out. So there was over leverage on a lot of names, which forced liquidity drives. Those liquidity drives pulled money out of Micron, out of SanDisk, out of Penguin. It pulled it out. And so what happened was you had this during that IPO discovery phase of SH Hynix. Long story short, we've got it. I feel confident to say, and I'm not saying in certainty, I think the low is in. I've seen this movie before with Micron, and Mark Twain famously said history doesn't necessarily repeat, but oftentimes it rhymes. And I think with stocks, that's a very true statement. They typically rhyme, and I'm banking on it, hence I'm very long Micron. And so we're looking good. Another day today up 3% on what is a bloody market. And this is holding up better than most. And so I'm long Micron. I think this is an opportunity also to buy if you don't own it, but not financial advice. So Micron, as I've mentioned, to nauseum, lockout period ends December 6th. They will probably announce they haven't announced their earning date yet, but I would not be surprised if they announced during their earnings date their intention to buy back the stock in December. That is a major catalyst for this stock. $1,500 is my price target and what I'm sticking with. All right. SanDisk, again, faring pretty well in a very down day. 3 days green, what looked like capitulation, drawn out. Not as good looking as Micron. You'd love to see it above these averages, but still looking positive. I have a position in SanDisk, not as large as Micron, but I have a position in this, and so I am still long SanDisk. I think you have to own a name. In this pullback, I think you've got a great opportunity. They're forming bases. I think you have to own a memory name. Pick your poison, do what you need to do. I think if you don't own a memory name, God help you. If you want to just own the ETF, I think the ETF is DROM. I'll pull it up in a minute. Penguin down today. It was up. It was up just recently. I don't know what happened. Down today. Let's see how this closes. Completely low volume these last 3 days, which are wild. I think the selling's done. But again, I mentioned this on Monday's video or Tuesday. That's your low. That's your line in the sand. I have my original position, not my add-ons. I got burnt. I was toast crunch on those, took an L. But I have my original position. I'm still green on that, but my line in the sand is right here. Below that, you should sell and you should exit and take your loss on the chin and keep it moving. So Penguin. Let me see if I could find this. I think it's Drom. There you go. All right. If you don't want to own an individual name, buy the ETF, for God's sakes. This is a memory name of... Oh, geez. So you got Micron, SH Hynix, which I don't love that, Samsung, Western Digital, Seagate, and yeah. So anyways, if you don't want to own an individual memory name, you can buy this ETF. I wouldn't do that, but I have conviction in Micron and SanDisk, so do what you want. All right, let's jump now. Let's do biotech real quick, because I have a terrible fucking neck pain. TGTX, I'm going to start here. Okay, it's up 1%, but it has had this slow drip. I mean, look, you had to expect a move from $36 up to almost $60. You had to expect a give back. This still looks good. I own this conviction play. Going to move really fast on these. Clay's company down 2.5. This is a good looking chart, though. This is even down 2.5%. Very good looking chart. This is pinching. This is getting tight. You want to see your trading tight. This is looking good, so I still own it. Liquidia, I got to talk about this one real quick. So the day before yesterday, on Tuesday, I mentioned I was probably going to sell half my position. I didn't sell half, but I sold like 35%. Then the day after, which was yesterday, it went up 8%. Yeah, that's the way it goes. So I still have like 70% of the position. It went up. My original position, by the way, is over 35% up now. I've decided this morning, because I even did more due diligence about a lawsuit they're about to win. So I decided to take the 30% that I sold in my trading account, and this morning I bought it in my IRA. So I've just added a long-term position in my IRA. I think Liquidity is $150 stock. I'm going to leave that in my IRA, and I'll remain with my 70% original position in my trading account. Once it hits 100, I will probably start to trim that 70%. This looks good, and the more I do more digging on this, admittedly, I screen for stocks every weekend on technicals because I like to buy strength, high liquid names. But as I screen for them and I start to do my due diligence, either my conviction becomes more concrete, my thesis to support it, or then it does the opposite, and then I realize I can only trade the stock and I need to exit. This is not one of them. This is one that I think is going higher. So Liquidia looking damn good. Man, the VIX just spiked up through the roof. The VIX is the volatility index. It's up 17% today. So to give you an idea, this will probably, this doesn't show you. Anyways, whatever. The VIX is up, volatility is up, whatever. All right, let's jump into the next. Oh, before I jump into the other thing, I'm going to point out something that is in my IRA. I like to give everybody a little taste of something when it's in the IRA. This is sometimes I like to talk about things that are more investments long term. For those of you that know me or watch me or follow me, I own this in my IRA. I found Dutch Bros to be interesting. Let's see if it updated here. It didn't. This isn't updated yet. No, I think it is updated. Sorry for the long pause. This should be Fidelity because it popped up on my other thing. So long story short, Fidelity's most famous mutual fund, which is called the Contra Fund, it has a very famous manager on it who manages that fund. He increased his position for Fidelity 4 times over. So 400% larger position for Dutch Bros as they continue their expansion on the East Coast. I own this in my IRA. I think eventually this is going to be a $200-300 stock. So just pointing it out for those. I can't trade this. I've really never had success trading this. Some stocks I just can't trade. Bloom Energy was one. This is another one. I just can't trade it. I planted in my IRA. When I believe in a stock and I want to own it, but I just don't want to put it in my trading account, I throw it there. All right, going to go into Dell just because. So Supermicro had some news the night before. If you don't know who Supermicro is, I'll point them out. It had some pin action. It helped Dell break out yesterday to the upside of 8 to 9%. And now today it was up 3-4%, giving some back on the weakness of the market. If this can get out of this box, this 470, well, if this can really break out at like 468, I mentioned this on my video on Tuesday. I actually said it Tuesday, which was that day. My favorite looking chart coincidentally had a great day the following day. If this can get out of its box, this thing is off to the races. This is off to the races. There you go. That was yesterday. 9% up yesterday. Pretty good. So anyways, I own Dell. I'm super long Dell. I own a very large position in it, and it is my favorite chart. Correlation to AMD. I really want to buy AMD. I have not bought it. Maybe today is a day I could buy it. I want to get in this. If you don't own this, this is one available to you. If you don't want to own Dell, own AMD. I think you got to own one of them. And this looks great. I mean, I admittedly sold my calls too early. This looks really, really good technically and fundamentally. SMCI is what caused the trigger. This was an oldie but a goldie, but it had a huge move yesterday. They did their earnings, and it really had pin action across the market. Okay. Intel, I have long-dated calls. I mentioned this, but you're probably even. They're out till next year in June or July. I think I have like $120 or $130 strike price. Anyways, they report earnings today. Oh, that's a big headline. So they report earnings today. I did not. There is their expected growth. My hunch is they kill it. I'm going to go on record. I'm probably going to take a couple of short-dated calls just as a floater. I mean, these are calls I'm willing to lose if they don't work out. I think Intel kills it. And their investment backed by the government, my hunch is they kill it. So with that said, Intel today earnings, I'm going to take a little bit of a gambling call. Maybe maybe a week or two out, strike price, maybe 105, 110, depending how froggy you are. Don't go crazy. Don't blow your load on this thing, but, do what you... God, I really say some things I shouldn't be saying on these videos. In any case, let's keep it moving. That's all I bought a new stock. Where is it? Well, I haven't bought it yet. I put it on my watch list. Where the hell is it? Oh, here we are. This one. So I'm going to buy this one today. Really like this one. I put it on my stock list. This chart looks fantastic, giving you a small pullback of 1% today. I love this tight trading, stair step up. So I'm going to buy this today, start a position in this. I really like this. This showed up on my screener over the weekend. I didn't mention it on my Tuesday video. So there's that. I'm going to buy that today. That's going to get purchased today. Robin, man, I sold this, and people ask me about this all the time. I mean, chart-wise, it's okay, down 4%, not the end of the world. I just rather own other things. So this is the thing. They just pulled out their platinum credit card, which for those of you who haven't seen it, it is pretty cool. You see the headline. I thought it was, a guy like myself who finds credit cards interesting. They rolled out a platinum card, and they include a Whoop membership. They give you $1,000 sleep aid credit, free Amazon medical yearly credit, and a function health credit for a year, which is like crazy. It's like a $2,000 just in that of what they give you for their platinum card. And they just rolled that out. I own a Robinhood Gold card that gets me 3% back on all my transactions. What am I doing? I'm talking about credit cards here. Anyways, so that's what people were mentioning. You see the headline. In any case, take a look at that credit card if you find interest in that. 20 minutes, this video is getting too long. Market getting pounded out today, 2.5% down. Oil continues to go up. We got tensions in the Middle East. The conflict is going to create a rumble. Earnings season is here. Intel today, you're going to get a good glimpse as to what that's going to do for the market. And so just keep your eye, set your stops, make sure that you don't do anything with diligence. If you're going to play Intel, don't go crazy today. I'm going to do it. In any case, have a great weekend, guys.